diplomatic sources say that Ankara is very upset about the wave of anti-Turkish propaganda that the Kurdish community in France has generated over this crime. In particular, Ankara is upset by what it views as the Kurdistan Workers' Party, the PKK, using the French government as, quote, a tool in this propaganda. I think they're referring to the fact that the French Justice Ministry received a delegation of French Kurds to express sympathy over this crime and to reassure them that the crime would be fully investigated. And some members of that Kurdish delegation were reportedly associated with the PKK. However, much more important than what the French Justice Ministry did is what the French Interior Minister said. Gérard Darmanin came out and said publicly that the attacker acted alone. In other words, Turkey had nothing to do with this crime.
Now, clearly, diplomatic tensions are rising between Ankara and Paris over this. How do you imagine the French ambassador responded to being summoned by the Turkish government?
Well, I don't know what the ambassador would have said. I will imagine how he would have replied, as you invited me to do so. I think France is lucky to have an ambassador who speaks Turkish fluently. His name is Hervé Magro, and he spent some of his childhood here in Turkey. I'm sure he would say something along the lines of, if Kurdish spokesmen in France, if French politicians attack Turkey over this incident, unfortunate though that may be for Turkey, that is their exercise of free speech, and the French government cannot do anything about it. What really counts is what the French government has said. And as I told you, Interior Minister Darmanin said the attacker acted alone. One should also say that Turkey itself has been exploiting this affair to some extent, and that it has been pointing to the violence in the streets over this crime. Even though the EU has banned the PKK as a terrorist group, one has seen in these demonstrations the PKK flag has been flown freely. And so Turkey is now saying to France, look, you tolerate PKK activists in your streets, and now you get this violence. The Turkish defense minister, Hulusi Akar, said yesterday that France has been bitten by the snake that it has been feeding.